Hi guys, so welcome to another week of Bursa case studies. So as usual, we start off with the indexes first. So for the Nasdaq, I think that's quite a pullback. I assume it will pull back to somewhere around here and may rebound from there. So seems like there's already some form of support coming in, okay? And if it's going to break down from here, then I think things won't look that good, okay? For the Dow Jones, I think it's still doing quite well. Just a temporary pullback over here. Volume is quite high from yesterday's trading day, and also the S&P 500 is something similar lah. Okay, overall US indexes look pretty bullish. I think it's due to hopes of rate cuts coming in this year. Russell 2000 is coming back to where the downtrend line was, and seemed to have formed some kind of reversal candle yesterday. The 10-year yield, 2-year yield, 5-year yield seems to have found a bottom. So I think the coming weeks will be quite interesting to see where the market goes. Same goes with the dollar index, is going higher. VIX also seems to have found some form of support and climbing higher, but the candle on Friday wasn't that good. Short index for QQQ, S&P 500 and SOXS is actually looking like it's attempting to rebound, okay? So SOXL is the same. Hang Seng for me doesn't look that good lah. Okay, seems like it's attempting to form some form of higher lows along the way, but if you look at the general trend, it's still downtrend lah. Okay, same goes with the China index. I think it's a bit worse actually. Nikkei index is challenging all-time high. Seems to have a lot of wick above lah, which is not something good to have. Okay, if it fails to break out from this resistance again, then of course it's going to fall lah. All seems to have found bottom and forming a higher low. KLCI index is actually doing pretty well. It has finally broken out of the downtrend line, which has been there for, I don't know, for an extremely long time lah. If I adjust this to somewhere here, then it's exactly at the uptrend lah. The downtrend line. So we'll wait to see lah what happens to the index. Seems pretty good. Small cap index is actually very good lah. Okay. Properties index was very bullish last week. We'll come to that later. For my list of case studies, REITs are also doing quite well. Energy seems to be climbing higher. Finance is doing well. Utility stock like YTL Power, Renhill are doing extremely well. Construction is also doing well. Technology seems like it's rising lah, attempting to break out. Plantation currently looks still sideways to me. Industrial products, I think it's okay. Seems to have some form of pullback over here. Healthcare, I think majorly dominated by gloves. I think it's doing not bad as well. I think it has been going up for quite a number of days. Consumer is nothing much to see. Transport, I think just attempted to break out. And telecommunications is finally showing some bullish signs lah. So generally, Bursa's market is quite bullish lah. Okay. Now we move forward to the case studies. Okay, actually from the case studies list, from my screening, there are actually a very huge amount of stocks which are actually quite bullish lah. Okay, so as this is just a case study, I don't include stocks that is already, there's nothing interesting to see lah. Okay, for example like MTEX, I think there's nothing to learn from it lah. Okay, so it's already like sky high, and I don't think there's much to see lah. Okay, so I'm just including stocks which I think there are some stuffs to learn from it lah. Okay, so the first counter will be HARTA. I think among all the glove counters, HARTA is personally I think it's better lah. Okay, from the management side and so on, but on the chart wise, I think it's not bad as well. You can see it's slowly climbing from here lah. Okay, you can see it's forming a higher low. This level may be a point of testing again now. Okay, this entire zone, because if you look at it in this way, let's just something like this lah. Okay, you will see there is some form of bull and bear fighting over here before a move actually facilitated. Okay, so it may actually have some bull and bear fight around this area before it actually attempts to go higher lah. Okay, it will be quite interesting to see what materializes. But if you look at it from here, this is one low, then a higher low, and then seems to be a higher low already lah. Okay, so technically it's already in an uptrend. Next is AMMB. So like my indexes reviews, finance is also doing pretty well lah. Actually, a lot of sectors are doing quite well. Okay, so this is AMMB, and I think it's doing not bad over here. You can see that the pullback consolidation area is about this zone lah. Okay, and then it broke out on Friday with quite an enormous volume, so I think AMMB looks quite interesting. IJM actually a very long consolidation over here. So why I included this case study is just to see how do you identify a strong breakout lah. Okay, so you will have a basing zone over here, and throughout the time of basing you should have a lower volume forming like this. Okay, so you can see from here, and then this here, and then a bit higher, and then it continues going lower and lower and lower. I think it's a bit quite dry already lah. Okay, then suddenly a high volume comes in, so this is kind of like a proper breakout lah. Okay, and it's supposed to be quite a strong one. Okay, you can see it's already challenging 52-week high, so this is actually a good breakout lah. Okay, LAGENDA, I think this is one counter you can monitor for property. Somehow this counter is always laggard compared to the rest. Of course, again, this is not a buy call telling you that you should still rush into the property sector. But looking at the chart, it's something similar to IJM. You also see it moving like this of a higher volume first. Okay, then going down. Then here you see a very low volume. Then after that the volume starts coming up lah. Okay, so generally I think it's quite nice. If you see, it's actually forming multiple cups lah. Wonder whether it will be seen here. Yeah, actually on the weekly chart also you can see. You can see something like this, then like this, and then like this. Okay, so a way to see what happens to the chart, which is why I included lah. Okay, so next is MUHIBAH. MUHIBAH was one of the counters I saw in inverse cup and head and shoulders. I think the other counter I saw was Infotech. Infotech managed to break out, but then got sold down quite rapidly after that lah. Okay, MUHIBAH's chart actually looks kind of better. Okay, this is of course the head and shoulders breakout area. Okay, it fumbled over here and then it came down, washed out everyone, then after that slowly climbed higher. This was a fake breakout lah. Okay, to wash out a lot of weak holders, then came back down, consolidated, didn't really close the gap and continued going higher. Okay, so this is one of the inverse head and shoulders case study I have, which is for me quite interesting because it tends to wash you out before attempting to push the stock higher lah. Okay, so let's see what happens next week. The volume is actually much better than previous. Okay, look at the volume over here. It's much more active compared to all the previous time during formation. Okay, SAMAIDEN, one of the solar counters that just broke out from the downtrend line. I think this is actually not the only counter. I think Sunview is also has also just broken out from the downtrend line, but I included SAMAIDEN because mainly the correction from the top to the bottom is less compared to Sunview, if I'm not wrong. Okay, we can have a look. This is about 21%, whereas this is about, about almost 40% lah, 39%. Okay, so the more your correction is, that means also the more likely it is prone to failure lah. Okay, so that's why I would prefer to study SAMAIDEN first than Sunview. Okay, next is Wells. So Wells was one counter which had some form of accumulation over here, and subsequently decided to just rally up and had no breaks lah. Okay, to this peak, and then it came back down. So this is a IPO rally lah. Okay, it started from here, IPO, then rallied up, then seems to be consolidating over here. Okay. Reason why you look at the volume here is about 1 to 2 million per day. Here was about 3 to 5 million. So when it was rallying, the volume was much higher. Okay. So it may be just forming a consolidation here before attempting to break out. Okay. Although the volume of selling here doesn't look that good, but I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see if what happens to this counter will be something like what I'm going to draw here. It's like this, and then come back down like this, and then it goes like this. Okay, so as usual, this is stage 1, 2, here will be 3, 4, and then this is 1 again. It will be quite interesting to see if there is such a thing, because usually charts like this in Bursa takes years. This is not really even 2 years. Okay, it will be quite interesting to note that. Next is day 3. Day 3 seems to be able to hold well within this triangle. Okay, and if it's able to hold well and break out from this line, I think it's going to look quite bullish. Okay, but you just need to bear in mind okay, 1, 2, 3, here also 1, 2, 3. So he has actually hit both sides of the triangle 3 times, which means it's a bit hard to predict which side it will break break out or break down. Okay, so it's left for us to see . Next is Malakoff. Okay, the reason I have Malakoff is my case study list is because I just want to see whether this high volume is actually real or not . Okay, the last time this high volume came, it didn't really break down, it just continued flat, and then currently high volume came in . Okay, so it's going to look quite interesting if he finally manages to break up, because Malakoff is literally a sideways trend. Okay, for the longest time ever, he has been in a sideways of about here up to 0.71. Okay, so yeah. Next is SDS. This one looks quite interesting. For so long, it has still been going uptrend, just like this. Okay, quite interesting chart for me. Okay, here the volume is very dry. That means there's not much sellers anymore, and then suddenly a big volume comes in over here, and from there it continues going higher. So if you ask me, I think the chart looks quite interesting . Okay, but whether it continues or not will depend on, of course, the stock itself . Okay, next is ULICORP. Okay, this huge sell down over here, technically I feel has scared many investors or traders away . Okay, for it to have such a huge volume selling down right after quarter report is released, it's something quite scary to have . Okay, this volume is 13.16 million, and the average is only about 1.83 million. It's more than 10 times the volume of a normal trading day. Okay, but ULICORP has kind of since recovered . Okay, it has slowly been climbing higher and higher, and has reached a level of about 1.59 today. So the climbing is actually not bad. Okay, it's quite a healthy one now. Okay, you see a huge breakdown over here. Okay, and then it forms like a cup shape over here, and then a handle over here, and then it broke out here, and then it's continuing going higher. Okay, if you look at the volume side also, recent days volume has been higher . Okay, so demand is starting to flow in. Okay, something interesting and good to have . Okay, and of course lastly is SKBSHUT. So SKBSHUT, if you see, the thing is the shares float for this counter is actually very thin . Okay, easy go up, easy go down . Okay, so it's kind of in a downtrend manner . Okay, not really forming a higher low or higher high yet, and then this is a basing a base, and then this is quite a high volume coming in. So something to monitor to see whether this volume is actually true or false. Okay, so 1, 2, and then 3 like this, and then a 4 one. Okay, small cup. So this volume is actually quite significant. Okay, we'll need to see in the coming weeks whether this volume is true or false . Okay, and then this week is actually not something good to have . Okay, so that's all for the case study this week. Generally, for me, Bursa is quite bullish. Every sector is also pretty bullish, but I think the ones that ran the most is the property, finance, and construction also. Okay, I think this ran up much more aggressive compared to the rest lah. Okay, in the coming week, I think we will still see Bursa continue climbing higher, since the index is about 1.5k already. Okay, so that's something very interesting to have. We haven't had 1.5k for let's put it this way, we haven't broken out of the downtrend in the longest time since we took over, I think in 2018, so that's about 5 years. So things will look quite interesting if market continues to go bullish lah. Yeah, that means there's more. If you see the daily report of funds, you will see foreign funds are flowing in. I don't know, is it the sell down from US, so they actually park their money here, or they finally see some potential in the Malaysian market. I'm really not sure. Okay, but it's a good thing to have more foreign funds coming in. Okay, so aside from that, of course, as usual, before I end, the disclaimer: this entire video is for educational purpose only. Should not be considered a buy or sell call lah. Okay, if you require a buy or sell call, please look for your licensed remiser or your licensed financial advisor. Okay, so with that, I conclude this week's video, and see you again next time. Okay, thank you, bye bye.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.